Aloysius is ready. Bro, can you hear us, man?
Yes.
How are you, man?
Good afternoon. Doing good.
Yeah?
It's morning over here, so I have already got my engine starting.
You need some hacker coffee, bro. Hacker coffee.
Your coffee.
Yeah, exactly. Where are you at now, man? You're in Dubai or where exactly are you?
I'm in Dubai right now.
Uh-huh.
So it's about 10:30 a.m. over here.
Still pretty early then. But it's a holiday, right? Today is Friday, right?
Yes, Friday is my new Saturday.
That must have taking some getting used to, right? After being in like Asia, like we are so used to Saturday, Sunday, and then now it's like Friday, Saturday. It's like what?
It only happens in the Middle East.
Hey, how many months have you been in UAE already, man? Like quite some time, right?
A year already, actually.
Wow, man. Time flies, man. And so you actually moved over to the UAE during COVID, right? Like, as in, I remember there was like, I was asking you like, bro, you actually gonna fly there like now? As in, you know, with all the testing and everything was a bit crazy. So you actually went there like,
I know.
During the peak of COVID, right?
Yeah. I actually joined the fight over here, right? During the peak of the COVID, and there's no better way to join in, something that you find that is interesting and to uphold, what you think is the right thing to do.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, opportunities only come once in a lifetime, as they say, right? Either you take it or bugger off, you know what I mean? Like, you got one shot, man. But, hey, congrats
we always look for something fun, right? So, I mean, it's something that makes you, and motivate you to get out of bed.
Yeah, true. I mean, if not, why bother, right? Like, I mean, life is too short to do boring stuff, man.
Well, you guys have been doing very exciting stuff for the last 20 over years, in fact. Yeah.
Thanks, man. I mean, we just try our best to, keep things interesting, and at least we have something to look forward to. It used to be that, the conferences were our highlight, right? Like, everybody's waiting for that, right? The Netherlands guys are waiting for Amsterdam, the Singapore guys are waiting for Singapore, and we miss it, you know what I mean? Like, not being able to hang out, like, it's just not the same, man. Like, yeah, it's nice, we got this, but not the same lah, bro. But, what can we do?
For the Secret Force, it's all about hanging out together, right? It's the time that you spend with each other. And when you first started, right, I think back in 2001 or something like that, it was mainly just because a bunch of us like to do the capture flag, right? So you rented a place in, I think, Mid Valley.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where we started the CTF.
You remember that, man? Like, it was insane, dude. Like, what were we thinking, dude? We rented like such a huge area, and then there was, I don't know, like 4 exhibitors or something like that. It was ridiculous. It was like social distance, like in 2002, I think 2003. We already social distance like back then.
It's like you saw the future.
Everything at that point in time is like we are just feeling the ground. We have no idea what is coming next, and everyone like, okay, we are cool, let's figure out, and then that's how it goes, right? And then you guys just grew and grew, and then the next thing, before you know it, you move into Marriott, right?
Yeah,
a lot of Bukit Bintang, and then you extended to other countries like the Amsterdam, as well as in UAE, and then you move the KL conference to Singapore. Yeah, I mean, those were the days.
Those were the days, man. But like, it's not over yet, bro. That's the thing, right? We're still here. We're still doing it, right? Like, everybody always asks me, like, how many more years for Hack in the Box? I said, well, as long as we're alive, and as long as the community and the guys that are making all of this possible. I just sit here and like interview people. Shriman drives me. That's about it. But the guys who actually do the bulk of the work, all behind these cameras over here, right? Like, as long as those guys still believe in what we're trying to do, and the community still wants us to be there, we'll continue doing it, man. I've got a lot of grey hair, but still got some space, still got a bit of black. I think I'll wait until it turns fully white first.
So you're a grey hat right now.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, I'm a grey hat. Hey, bro, congrats on your top CISO award, man. I just noticed.
Thank you.
Congrats. That's a big deal, man. I mean, to go to UAE and after 1 year and you're already winning awards, right? Like, it's good, man. Good stuff.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No,
but it's all about the community, right? So you put that rightly in the right place, because it's really the effort of the entire community when they come together. Then that's when we can address the teething problems that we're facing today in our industry, And it's not that everything is bad about, talking about hacking, talking about all the 0 day, but because you need to face this problem, directly.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of hiding behind, walls and pretend that nothing happened. And that's not something that is going to happen when you sleep and you forget about the whole thing, and then you suddenly wake up and find that, hey, I'm still being, held at ransom by the ransomware. No, it will not just go away by itself, by default.
If I wish really hard, it would just go away.
You take a sleep. I think a lot of the IT security guys, they when they have the problem, the next thing is they go to sleep. They hope that you will reset everything, right?
It was a bad dream. But actually, that's precisely why when you told me that you're going to become CSO at Huawei Middle East, right? I was very excited because it's actually one of the rare occasions, somebody who is from the community, who understands the other side, and it's not just like, oh, hackers bad, don't say hacking, you know what I mean? Like, who understands where the security researchers are coming from, and that what's the motivation and why we do the things we do, and it doesn't make us bad, you know what I mean? It's like, it's refreshing, right? Like, we actually have a C-level folk who knows what is what, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was good.
I mean, you look at that, right? Huawei is almost like Microsoft 20 years ago, right? You remember 20 years ago, right? Microsoft is like the bane of the cybersecurity world. Everybody is talking about how bad they are. I remember all those hacks like all the bad orifice, or the blue pill, red pill kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys had LSD down, and you have that the man lady. I can't remember her name for the blue pill. Yeah, and then they managed to back up, right? The industry pressure is on them, and it took them 20 years to transform from a laggard, from what you would say that is somebody that's hated by the cybersecurity community to a leader who lead the crackdown on SolarWinds since December. So I think Huawei is in the same situation from a technical perspective. And that's why I said it's exciting to join the fight. I mean, I don't wake up and then fly myself, my whole family to Dubai just because, I want to get into a position as CSO. I've been there, I've done that, but it's more like getting into the fight, the thick of things.
Picking up the challenge.
Trying to pursue a vision.
Yeah, I mean, the situation with Huawei, Mark Dowd yesterday gave a keynote, right? And he was talking about state of mobile security and stuff. And we were asking him, like, so you're talking about iOS stuff, and, iOS, like, got this, got that, so many protections. So we asked him, like, who else has been, at the forefront of doing defensive, and actually on the mobile, right? And he named Huawei. He said Rhapsody OS, it was like, noteworthy for the enhancements that you guys have come up with. And in the face of adversity, I mean, like, I don't think anybody doesn't know what's going on with Huawei in the US and blah, 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 right? Like, and what difficulties you guys have with App Store and all this other nonsense, right? But you guys have done, like, remarkable, you know what I mean? To come back from, like, getting quote unquote kicked out, right? And then rebuild an App Store from scratch, right? Rebuild the entire developer ecosystem, roll it out, and grow it. It's not so so, you know what I mean? Not so easy as they say, right? Like, it takes a lot more work, man, and a concerted effort. And credit. I mean, that really goes credit to Huawei for not like backing down and saying, whatever, but actually taking the fight and saying, okay, fine, these are the limitations. We'll meet your limitations. Checkmate, bro.
I mean, these are the time that I call this the cyber Wild West, right? If we thought that 20 years ago was a cyber Wild West, I think right now is the time. In fact, if you look at it, World War III is already amidst us. If you really look at what's happening right now in the cyberspace, because the entire cyberspace is so fragmented right now. Everybody is you against me. Everybody have drawn a virtual boundary just because of one thing. And just like what have led to World War I and II in the first place, it's all about resources. The resources are scarce, and everybody is fighting for the same resources. And that's why I say that, I mean, maybe you don't feel it, but actually I would say that right now in the cyberspace, it's a cyber World War III. and everybody is for themselves, and that's where to be born in this era, to be here, to be involved in all this fight, and this is where you love to be, as a cybersecurity professionals. It's almost like one of those genres, right? When for us like cybersecurity guys, we like to play things like the Romance of the Three Kingdoms kind of thing. You always imagine yourself to be one of those generals that's leading the fight. Now we are leading the fight, and make no doubt about it, right? It is something that is going to redefine a new order in the cyberspace, and the new order is all about building an open and transparent cybersecurity ecosystem that is not going to be influenced by any political or pseudo, economic driven kind of situations that people bring in the nation states perspective into play. I think it will be focusing on the building a neutral platform for all the stakeholders to come together. And that's only when we come together as a community, then we can solve the teething problems of cybersecurity. Because cybersecurity today is still not, people say that it's in the mainstream, right? Because people say that because of the COVID-19 pandemic, because of the digital transformation towards Industry 4.0, everybody says that the time is now. Cybersecurity is in the forefront of everything. We are entering the mainstream, we're entering the board. But you look at it, we still are missing the final step to make that happen. Right? You look at the CISOs of today, they are not like the GDPR, where the DPO is reporting directly to the board. The DPO will hire a CISO to make sure that they get all the data protection controls in place. So you as a CISO report to the DPO. Right? So this is something that we have been fighting for, right? You remember that I've been trying to do that in Singapore and UK. It's about positioning the cybersecurity as a profession that, is put in the same breath, mentioned in the same breath as the medical professions, the legal professions. We are still lacking that. And how many times do you find that the CISO is mentioned in the executive management team of any companies today? And how many CISO can actually become a CEO?
Yeah.
So much has been done, need to be done. And that's where your community is critical, right? For people to understand that it's not all about the technical things, but how do you communicate, okay? And link this back to the entire ecosystem, to the entire story that we are building right now, that cybersecurity is a critical part of the digital transformation today.
You're totally right, man. I mean, and that's exactly why I always say that, the UAE has always taken this as a proactive step, you know what I mean? To try and get that collaborativeness together and get people to kind of like bring all the stakeholders, the industry, the legislator, and the researchers. Because you can't fix it, with like, only these guys and then with only these guys, right? The technical guys are talking technical stuff. The C-level guys are talking about budget, how much money they're going to need. And then the legislators are like, yeah, we just want to keep people safe in the best way possible. But it's always, closing the stable door after the horse has chow already, right? So,
or when something happens, then they get the money. Come on, let's solve the problem. I mean, Let's solve the problem before even the problem, right?
Precisely. Hey, can you talk a little bit about the work that Huawei is doing specifically in the UAE? I mean, what have you been working on and your team over there?
So for Huawei, one thing about what we have been doing consistently, not only within UAE but globally, right, is to be leading initiative to bring everybody on the same table, on equal grounds. So that including the entire ecosystems that we bring to bear, right, to whichever market that we comes in. It's all about making sure that we look at things from a very technology-driven perspective in achieving the goals of our customers, to ensure customer meets their own strategy objective to achieve the kind of customer satisfaction. So for us, it's all about making sure that everybody within the stakeholder ecosystem is happy. So that means that if they want to look at technologies that perceive as key to solving their problems, perceive as key to establishing that digital economy, we will look forward to see how we could help them with that, right? It's all about creating this open and transparent ecosystem. So when they say they need 5G, we're bringing 5G. When they need cloud, we're bringing cloud. When they need AI, we bring AI. And what we do is we don't only bring this in, but we will talk with all the customers. We will also bring in the local ecosystem in, right? So we don't only bring our own technologies, our own partners, our own ecosystem, but we try to integrate it locally, and then making sure that it's adapted to the local requirement, design for fit for purpose, and see how we could establish all these so-called systems, put them in place, and deliver to them what is necessary for ingredients to enable the digital transformation. All the security out of the box, privacy out of the box, by design, right? Built from scratch using the zero trust security model, right? We don't talk about security. We don't sell security products. But whatever products we sell to you, security is enabled by default. Whether is it the 5G or the cloud.
It's baked in, basically.
And we make sure that we do that.
What is zero trust in a mobile phone? Like how do you go around that?
Zero trust in the mobile phone. Okay, zero trust is actually a security model, right? So you can actually apply in whatever, so-called technology that you want to build. It's all about designing from scratch, right from the first step, right? So in this case of our phone, right, we in Kirin chipset that we have, right, it's actually a system on chip where security, the code and the hardware are all embedded into the SoC. So you are actually secure by boot, right? So that's what we want to build before all the sanctions came in. So with the chip, you could have a dedicated coprocessors that contains the security codes in there. With the chip, you can even for the requirements, you can have a dedicated not only the security function but the dedicated white light that deliver the randomized numbers that you could use, part of the trusted computing base, right? So in fact, we are a member of trusted computing base for TCB for the past 15, 18 years, right? So when we design, we always look for the mobile phone, secure by boot. And then for our new Harmony OS, right? We actually built it based on, if you remember Symbian.
Yeah.
so is whether you are talking about a macro OS or the micro OS, right? So we actually design a micro OS that we have all the components from messaging and everything that's separated into smaller modules, right? So we piece them together. So for our Harmony OS, we actually have put them through the most stringent cybersecurity. We have put the most stringent cybersecurity tests and put them through the most stringent cybersecurity third-party review, right? So for common criteria at this point in time, they have achieved a CC4 certification. Actually, we're pushing for 5, right? So that means that from the boot to the authentication of the user, and everything, is supposed to be the start of the endpoint security. So it's not only for phone. Harmony can be can be deployed in many other things, from the tablets to all the other IoT devices that we build from our. If you remember, we have a very successful product called Ideal Hub, which is something that people use for their video conferences and all their meeting room, huge kind of screen that people use for that. So everything is embedded in there. So that our vision is that all the endpoints when from the endpoint when you boot up to the point that you connect through our 5G to the cloud. the entire process, okay, is a chaperone with security all the way. Right.
Awesome.
So the data is secure right from the endpoint to the cloud and back. Right. So all this is within our design concept. So we know that security is only as strong as the weakest link. So from the endpoint, okay, from the endpoint where we design our Harmony mobile systems, right, our HMS to the 5G network transport layer to our cloud, we make sure that the secure controls are all in place. Right, so that is take a tremendous effort to build this end-to-end cybersecurity architecture, where you not only have to educate the R&D guys, okay, to look into the development of this, but you also have to look at making sure that the people that manage the code base, the people that manage the entire supply chain, when you bring everything together and piece them together to the factories, to the point that they pack all these things and put on that lorry and send it to the customers, right? From the warehouse to customer, or even this kind of security, the supply chain, we have to make sure that that we could trace every single component, every single phase where the product is, so that in the event that we need to do trace back, let's say for some reason something happened where we need to do immediate trace back, it can be done.
Amazing.
Until the point that we hand over to the customer. Once it's hand over to the customers, then not my business. It's the customer's business.
Your fault.
If the customer like you decide to jailbreak it and whatnot, then that's your problem, right?
Fair enough. Hey, but actually, for the guys that don't know, right? So Huawei is going to be at Cyber Week in November. Are you guys going to bring the Harmony OS stuff over to show off, or let people play around with it, or what's the plan, man?
I have no plan at the moment, to be frank.
Okay.
You are still planning. You guys are in November.
Yeah.
November is Jai-Tex.
Yep. Okay. Bring the Harmony stuff, bring as much stuff as you can, man. Bring all the autonomous stuff, bring the AI things. We should do a challenge, we should do a Harmony, kind of like a hacking challenge or something, a bounty on Harmony or something. It could be cool, right? Like, if anybody has some ideas.
Well, you guys are eyeing on our what we call our autonomous driving vehicle, is it?
I mean, we got car hacking village, so you bring your autonomous car, then it merges nicely. Car hacking village, AI village, booyah.
If you go to YouTube, you search for Huawei car and Huawei autonomous driving vehicle, you will see that some of these things has been implemented with some of our partners in China. I think one of the car have a very cool name called Arctic Fox. Arctic Fox. Yeah, you can look at it. The design is great, and in fact, right now it's going under the automobile the SSAE certification for autonomous automobile driving vehicle systems. So we're going for level 4, which means that it can fully automated drive by itself, the kind of at the level of safety. So all these things is being done, right? And that means that you can even put it on auto drive within a city driving kind of environment. Right, so which is good. Let's say in the morning when you go to work, and if we ever go to work, right, and we go to work, and you feel sleepy without the HITV coffee bean, I couldn't get myself up, that kind of thing. Then you just press the destination, you will drive back, right, and it will park itself. And then the next thing is you will go to office with your coffee. And talking about bounty, right? For Huawei, we offer, I think if not, we actually offer the world's one of the largest bug bounty reward, right, for anyone that identify a bug in our systems, whether is it in the cloud or on the phone. If I'm not wrong, I think it's Microsoft and Google, they're offering about 200 grand, right? 200,000 USD, right? So for us, we normally want to do one up better than them. So we add another 50,000.
I thought you were going to say add another 0. That would be like Kao lah, right? Another 0 at the end.
250K, you find 2 holes that can get you 500 grand.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
pretty
you are
good.
done for the year, right?
Yeah, definitely. Next 2 years also need to work already. Awesome, man.
I think a lot of the top tier hackers, they are looking at least 1 million before they don't need to work for the year, right?
Yeah. I mean, it also depends on how complex. We were talking like chain exploit, like, I mean, how to make it work, right? Like, it's not usually just one bug, right? It's normally this plus some, sandbox escape plus some other thing. So it starts to add up, I mean,
Yeah,
you
the
just
proof,
say,
obviously, right? It's not so simple. They say,
Not so simple, yeah.
give me 250 grand.
yeah, but then that's the thing, right?
There's some industry standard on that, right?
But then there's folks like, bug bounty, brokers, right? Or whatever, exploit brokers, right? That will be offering some ridiculous amount. And that's exactly why we're in this situation, right? Like, if you are the guy who found it, you can, give it to Huawei, get 250k or 500k or whatever. Or then you can, sell it to some other guy. You don't know what he's going to do with it, but they're going to add a zero to the end, but hard to say.
So that's why we tell you, right? And that's why we offer it. That if you want to take the bug bounty program, we are happy to talk to you, right? Just like any other vendor, we are happy to talk to you. We have a professional team. In fact, we have a couple of teams within Huawei that are, part of this community, right? In the HITB community.
Yeah.
So they look after our product cert, we call it P-cert, the product security incident response team. And we also have people from our cybersecurity research lab that look at the, all the threat hunting, the 0-day kind of stuff on our products. And then we have a vulnerability management program that we put in place that is comprehensive to address all these issues with our development process and whatever that happens on that. And we are just happy that we have these conversations, and whoever who found something, please just get in touch with us, and we will see how this thing can be resolved within, for our customer. At the end of the day, you help us manage our customers' concern. Better than subsequently later on, something happened, and then you are hit with a ransomware, right?
Yeah,
but for the Huawei, since 1987 that we were founded until now, for the past 30 years, we have zero major cybersecurity incident, totally zero.
Keep it that way,
we were okay in the last SolarWinds.
Not naming names, but we were fine. Hey, brother. Hey, thanks so much for joining us, man. Actually, just talking about just very quickly, right? Like, there's a guy from your Huawei Root Lab who's going to be presenting on coverage guided binary fuzzing stuff this evening. He made a new tool called Trap Fuzzer. So yeah. Awesome research always coming up from Huawei. We look forward to seeing you again, man. I mean, we're going to come back soon. And then we have this Cyber Week thing, so we already have the list, right? So there's going to be we bring Rhapsody, we bring the automated car, right? Okay, I'll email you after this.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Take care,
Thank you, Sriman.
See you, man.
Bye. Nice
Ciao,
to meet
ciao.
you.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
You too.
You too.